make it difficult to mow. Centennial Place is a new housing facility. They had demolished some old dorm-style buildings around here and built a new residence-style housing. And part of that project, to meet their stormwater requirements, they put underground stormwater retention, which ended up just concentrating the stormwater. You can see the big culverts here. Those are the underground stormwater outfalls. Really dumped a lot of water here, a lot of water from the roofs and from the parking lot. And so this was a cooperative project we did to convert this area to a bioswale, and I'll let you throw your thoughts into it.
All right, so this was really kind of a joint effort of a biology of plants class, which I taught, a construction management class, which the building, their home building is right over there, so it's kind of right in their backyard. And so that class did kind of the prep work and the site work to determine how the bioswale should be engineered. My biology of plants class developed a plant list of appropriate plants for a wetland type situation. They researched what native plants would best accomplish our goals with a bioswale. And then after we put all the plans together, Chuck drew up a beautiful landscape design. And then the students volunteered, well, I guess as a part of their class project, they helped actually install the bioswale. So we had construction management guys out here hauling riprap and tossing it in, and dozens of students out here planting all these many plantings that were out here. This was grass up to a very narrow oily stream that ran off the parking lot, and now you can't even actually see any water in there. It's done a great job of filtering the water, but when the storm surge does come through here,
You sort of see some erosion marks here. This does fill up quite a bit with water when heavy rains, when it does by chance rain.
So we've incorporated this into a service learning project where students from environmental biology and also from construction management work with Dennis Pope, who has organized the maintenance and installation of all the plantings here. And so this has been a great cooperative effort across many departments on our campus. You can see the signage as well. This was designed by biology plant students. They learned what the key plants were out here, and then they put together some identification signs and explained what a bioswale was and how the whole project got put together. We will also be putting in little placards around each of the plants to identify plants in time to an evolving project. And we are looking at additional sites where we can continue this type of work.
One of the reasons why this is so important also is this is headwaters. This actually, you can't see, there's a pond. You see a bank of cattails on the other side. That big building you're seeing is the library building, but this water actually curves around the pond and goes into our wetland system, wetland corridor. And so these are the headwaters for our wetland system. And again, you know, all that water from the roofs of the buildings, from the parking lot, goes to storm basins, and they go into this in-ground storage system, and it gets dumped out.
Oh, you're fine.
This area used to flood, and to do the courtyard, we were going to have to upsize the drainage structures. Well, we revised design. We did the segmental retaining wall. That was the only thing that and the aggregate base was the only thing we had to contract out. We did everything else ourselves. Permeable gravel basin. We planted the boss trees in here. We did the permeable pavers, which Dennis is standing on, as a transition between active walkways and passive walkways. We did it for under $100,000. And I think aesthetically it looks better than the original design. Certainly it's much more sustainable. Okay, this is a student service this building now. There's going to be a lot of activity with students day and nighttime, so they want some more space as far as gathering and outdoor activities. That's just part of the process we're doing of developing the outdoor spaces and trying to make the outdoor spaces as important, in my mind, more important than the inside spaces. And the original historic part of campus that you see on the backside of the original Marvin Pittman, or what's now called Marvin Pittman academic building. 3 dark circles on the other side. That's where the 3 original 1900 buildings were constructed. And so this memorial was done. In fact, this was one of my first projects in '96 was this memorial, which is a tribute to what we call the builders of the university, the people who have managed to stay here long enough to retire. Get a plaque. I don't know if I'll do that or not. Retirement is not in the picture right now. But it's just the evolution of the development of this space. Again, I can't say it enough, you know, developing the outdoor spaces to create a conducive environment to gathering and learning and interaction. And again, as we get more and more students, more and more pedestrian walkways, you know, we have to widen our corridors, widen our traffic areas. As you see, again, the combination of using permeable pavers with regular pavers, we feel are a solution as far as minimizing the impact as far as stormwater management and creating impervious areas. Basically double the size of the footprint. What you're seeing now is twice the size of what it was before. And this whole area, again, this is the academic buildings. This whole area was asphalt parking, generated a huge amount of runoff. Actually would go inside and generate so much runoff would actually spill over those retaining walls, spill over the wall and just flood the area. So the process of renovation, half of this parking lot had been cordoned off for construction. The president said, campus is not getting it back. So we redesigned the parking lot. We created this retention basin here. I have designed for the runoff to go into it, and then as it fills up, it will flow and go into a catch basin. I've never seen any water come out of it. So basically all this, have you ever seen water come out of it, Dennis?
Oh, yeah.
We're on top of a sand hill here, so basically all the water that lands on this area, it doesn't need to go into a pipe. It can go right into the ground. And so this was basically, I think we maybe lost 4 parking spaces in here, but the effect of what we were able to accomplish as far as stormwater management was huge, and also creates a much more interesting atmosphere. Originally it was an elementary school, and it was incorporated in the campus as being a teacher's college. Integrated teaching programs in with the campus. As that need declined, and the school moved off campus, this building was repurposed into the art school, art department, and then part of the expansion was of this project was the art gallery and black box theater you see behind me. And this was a project in the courtyard that I want to show you. New building. It was quite a grade change between the two. You know, looking at 12-foot plus grade change. Decided this is going to be an opportunity, not a problem. You know, part of interesting campuses, you go around looking at campuses, are those hidden spaces you stumble upon. I think this is one of those spaces that you stumble upon. You don't know it's here. Probably a lot of people who work here at the university, go to school here, don't know this is here. But in the path of taking shortcuts, we wanted to create interesting spaces. So instead of just putting some plants out here and maybe a walkway, we created this outdoor art gallery. Outdoor art gallery. They have a location for special art exhibits outside. They have private exhibits they sponsor.
So is that student art, or is that? Others.
I think it's a combination of students and professional arts.
It's been a challenge. Chuck through this. It's supposed to be the room sedge and all.
Yeah, this is
We've
maybe
we've got it under pond management contract.
a little bit
Get it kicked.
different philosophy from the norm. This pond came about from again as a water management problem. You noticed over there by the arts building is a very low area. Had a lot, and that building has a basement. We had a lot of flooding problems. No place for the storm water to go. We determined we needed to pipe the water out of there, and we get a lot of water from this parking lot. So we created this. It's a detention pond. Nothing different about that. But I think what's a little bit different is as far as our philosophy is how it was designed and how we manage and maintain it. We've got 2 bays. We've got a 4 bay where all the water comes in, all collection points, and that's really to function as a sediment basin, allow the sediments to filter out, and then we've got a narrow passageway. The 2nd bay is a little deeper, and then the outflow. And that wooded area you see is our Center for Wildlife Education, which is in our campus wetland system. So it's really important that all this water coming off this parking lot and off the roofs of these buildings be treated, first stage treatment, as far as cleaning it up before it gets into our wetlands. Even though wetlands are a natural purification system, we want to help the system out. What is different is that just about our philosophy approach, and people may look at this and say it's overgrown and no one's taking care of it. We see this as a natural, beautiful environment. First, one thing we do, we created a mow line that was far away from the edge of the pond. That way, we want to filter as many of those nutrients, fertilizer runoffs, other sediments. We want to filter that through the grasses before it gets to the pond. That's why a lot of ponds have algae bloom in it, because of all the, it doesn't take much nitrogen to cause algae bloom. And we do fertilize this area, so we wanted to create a buffer, a natural buffer, to filter that water before it gets into the pond, and try to create as much shoreline vegetation as we can to let those plants filter the water too. So back to the stormwater management, it's a bioswale, it's a bioretention as far as I see it, even though it's a storm basin. And it's just more of a natural approach to how retention can be handled. Anything you wanted to add to it, Dennis?
Another thing you had somebody asked about cost earlier. Fortunately, we had a nurseryman here in the community that was needed some tax breaks. He gave us some not real good plants that we've been able to incorporate into these more native areas. And so we actually did a lot of this on this side, on the middle of this, at very limited cost.
Big benefit to the community here. A lot of schools come here for bring the classes here for learning opportunities.
It's a real
Yeah.
$18.
Forest Drive. The church.
What material is this, Chuck?
It's recycled rubber.
But I mean, it's like.
It's a Ford product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lightning agent in there.
Yeah, you can do backflips on it. We're going to be doing some multi-purpose trails on campus, and we'll be doing this. The nice thing about this is not only is it recycled tires, but it's also permeable. The water can perk through this, so it's recycling, permeability. Runs. We ended up flooding for the area, which changed the hydrology of the area. Of course, about pine trees died. maybe a little PR issue back, and this will just provide more habitat. It's just a natural process. So, and you see the water's way down right now, but you can see some wood ducks back there. Yeah, it's really, I mean, you don't even realize you walk into there, you don't realize.
Hey, y'all remember where I'll go though? I'll take off and go through there.
I'm not going to college if I do the same.
It's a mowed path. They mow it every twice a week.
Watch your head.
Don't poke your eyes out.
Everybody's afraid of snakes.
You taught before?
No, I went
I actually had students working out on a couple of them.